days, I was at my brother's house, and the subject of Doctor Who came up with my nephew Max. Max is 25 years old, I think, and I was talking about how I remember Doctor Who being on in the 70s. 1978, they played it on PBS, and I was 4 years old. My brother's a year and a half older than me, and he loved the show, so he would watch it I think it came on every Saturday. We were living in a mobile home in a place called Silver Creek, New York. And I was saying that I remember every time the theme song would start, I would get up and leave the room because I didn't want to watch the show. So I never actually watched it back then. And my nephew said, well, why? Why would you leave the room as soon as the song starts? And my brother chimed in. He goes, well, because he was scared. It's too scary. He didn't want to be scared by it. And I'm just nodding my head, going along with it, not giving it any thought, until a little bit later when I was on my way home. And then I kept thinking about it. It was like, they can't be right. I couldn't have left because of being scared. I wasn't scared by it. Why did I leave? And I was thinking, well, the only things I was scared about back then was the Black Sabbath song Iron Man. My dad would play that on the record player at full volume. That scared me. And Count Von Count from Sesame Street scared me. But the reason why, it dawned on me why I would leave the room. The only time that we would watch PBS is my mom would change it to, we would watch Sesame Street, fun stuff, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, those things on PBS, but then later on at night or something, my mom would watch PBS because they had this mystery series from the BBC about old women droning on and on about nonsense in thick accents. You couldn't understand them and you didn't want to. And it was filmed on video with the horrible lighting, and the theme song was just depressing sounding, and it had like a cartoon of a fainting woman falling out of a coffin and down some stairs or something, and then the show would start or the movies would start, and you would just want to claw your eyes out of your head. So I hated that. And then when I caught a glimpse of Doctor Who and saw, oh, it's PBS, everybody's got that British accent, it's filmed on video with that horrible lighting and the horrible sets, and everybody's just talking, and it's got a theme song that's instrumental, just like the mystery show thing. It's like, oh, it's more of this stuff. It's not Muppets. It's not something cool. I was 4 years old. It's going to be a snooze fest. So that's why I'd left the room. Well, fast forward to 1995, and my brother moves in with me, and he is real hopped up on Doctor Who. So I have him explain it to me. And after he explains it to me, it sounds really cool. But it's been off the air, so it's gone. So that was that. But they're putting it on videotape. So I start to collect some of the videotapes and start watching it, and I like it. I think it's fun. It's cool. And then it turns out it's actually coming back. They're making a TV movie. So we can't wait. So we mark the calendar, and then it comes out, and my brother and I watch it there in 1995. And boy, we liked it. But that was it. It was gone again. It actually wouldn't come back for another decade, and then when it came back, it's still, in 2005, it became a huge hit, and it's still going. Now it's 2019, and it's on the schedule to have the next episode is like early 2020, so it's still going. In the meantime, they've been coming out on DVD, and so I'm collecting them on DVD now. I am trying to watch all of the Doctor Who episodes in order. So I haven't watched any of the new Doctor Who episodes. All I've seen is that TV movie and those couple of videotapes I bought. It was like a dozen videotapes back then. But there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. So I got them on DVD, and I'm watching them from beginning on through. And this is how far I've gotten. So we start here with This is the first Doctor. The first actor to play the Doctor. This is 1963 to 1966. And he's just a cranky old man, and every other episode he just has like a historical drama piece. And then the alternating episodes, he travels to other planets and fights aliens and monsters and robots and stuff. And then it was a big hit in the 60s, so they made 2 theatrical films in color, widescreen, starring Peter Cushing, Darth Vader's boss, as the Doctor. These are remakes of 2 of the first Doctor's episodes, but remade and done as movies. And then this is a special making of the first episode done as a TV movie that came out for the 50th anniversary. So this all goes together. This is the first Doctor. Now this isn't everything, because the BBC threw all of their Doctor Who episodes from the 1960s out in the trash, and the first few years of the 70s. They threw those away too. So one of the great things about Doctor Who is, because it's enduring fanatical popularity, there's been so much effort across the world, so much time and money and effort put into tracking down anything they could find to recover copies of these episodes and restore them. And there's been so much technology created to restore film, restore color to film that they only have black and white copies of. And I'm not talking about colorizing. I'm talking about they're able to take video that's in black and white, but they were able to find that it has color information embedded in the video that's not used, and they're able to extract that and pair it up with film that has been reformatted in different ways and restored and add the color to it, and so much stuff. They were able to track down audio tapes and all kinds of stuff and just restore. So there are still 98 missing episodes of Doctor Who from the 60s that have yet to be recovered. But they have audio recordings of them, and they have screen captures and bits of footage recovered here and there all over the place, and they're able to reconstruct a lot of these missing episodes, and some that have no footage, just some screen captures and full audio track, they've started to animate them. So it's a lot of fun to watch all of the behind-the-scenes documentaries and things that go into all of these, plus the shows themselves. So that's enjoyable. Then we get to the second Doctor. Now, he's missing the most episodes. This is an actor, Patrick Troughton. They haven't been able to recover as many of his episodes as they were the first Doctor, but he was my favorite Doctor. I liked him more than the first one because Patrick Troughton, I felt, was a much better actor. In fact, one of these episodes, he plays 2 characters in it. He plays the Doctor, and then he plays the bad guy in the show. And he's not wearing a disguise or makeup or anything. I actually thought the whole time it was a different actor. And I just kept thinking, wow, that different actor, he looks a lot like Patrick Troughton in a way. I wonder if they're related, or am I playing tricks? It wasn't until I got to the behind the scenes and making of stuff in the documentaries and things included on it that I was able to realize it's him. He's playing both roles. He is such a great actor that he played the other character so differently and yet believable that it didn't seem like somebody putting on an act. It seemed like an entirely different human being altogether. And I'm telling you, neither one of them were in they weren't in disguises. That is masterful acting. So that's the second Doctor. I'm going to move these other way. Okay, so the first Doctor was 1963 to 1966. The second Doctor was 1966 to 1969. They each had 4 years on the show. That completed the 60s. And then as the 70s start, we get the Third Doctor. And this is the actor Pertwee. What is his... why am I drawing a blank? Jon Pertwee. Jeez, I had to read it off here. You know, it's been a long day. So he's on there 1970 to 1974. Now, all of his episodes have been recovered. A lot of them, they were only able to get black and white ones, but like I explained before, they were able to restore them all to color. So that's it. From here on out, they've got them all. The problem is, as these, you know, I'm not a rich man, so as I buy these as I can go, and of course, by the time I eventually get to it's time to buy the next one, it's been a few years since the DVD came out, and they're out of print. And what happens is they skyrocket in price, so I can't afford them. So what I do is I go to the BBC version, which are identical to the American version, except they're in Region 2. So I had to buy a Region 2 player, but that's okay. So now, so here you can see at the end here, these silver cases. These are the BBC ones. The only thing I don't like about them is they don't say the number on the back. So when I pick a lot of them up and drop them, it's hard to put them back in order. I got to go online and look up all the titles and assemble. It's a pain. But there's only a few of them there. But this is actually now my favorite Doctor. Not just Doctor, but I mean, I guess Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, is still my favorite Doctor, but this is my favorite incarnation of the show. Now, my brother doesn't like this incarnation, but he hasn't watched all of these. He hasn't gone through and watched. He's seen a smattering of all of these Doctor Who's. He watches the new one. Now, he grew up, he watched a lot of these, but not all. And he hasn't gone back and seen them all. But so his assessment of the Third Doctor, everybody's assessment of the Third Doctor is the Doctor's spaceship time machine thing. It's called the TARDIS. It's broken, which means he can't travel anymore. So he's stuck on Earth in London in the early 1970s. And so, you know, everybody says, well, now the show sucks because he's not traveling through time and space anymore. It kind of removes the fun. Well, here's why they're wrong. Here's why this is great. This is the best incarnation of the show that I've seen so far. He is trapped on Earth, like I said, can't travel anymore, but all of the aliens and robots and stuff come to Earth to fight him. In fact, they come in such high numbers. There are more appearances by more different aliens than in any other Doctor's run of the show. And getting to see London in the early 70s is alien enough. It's because it's not just a cheap set of construction paper and curtains and stuff. You're actually getting to see real life locations in a place that you've never visited in a time period that doesn't exist anymore, and it's fun looking at all of that stuff. Now, it doesn't stop there. He gets his own team, this military team called UNIT, led by the Brigadier. So he's got like a group with him, and he also gets a vehicle. It's this yellow car called Bessie. It's this jalopy thing, but it has these powers, like it drives super fast, and it's just a great period of the show. And the Doctor, he's wearing like a cape, and it's just, I think it's awesome. This is my absolute favorite. Now, this is as far as I've gotten. In fact, I am at the final episode. Today, I just finished this one, The Time Monster. I forgot to mention, also with the Third Doctor, see, the biggest thing of all, he gets an arch nemesis. His arch nemesis is an evil. See, the Doctor is an alien called a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Well, he gets an arch nemesis. It's another Time Lord called the Master, and the Doctor is like Sherlock Holmes. The Brigadier from Unit is like Watson, and the Master is like Moriarty. So, what a great dynamic. What a cool era. Well, the one I just finished today, The Time Monster, is now the greatest episode, series, group of shows, story, whatever, of Doctor Who that I have seen so far. This is 1974. This is the year I was born, so we're 9 years into the show. Well, you got to include 63, so we're a decade into the show, and we finally get to the one. This is the greatest. It's the Doctor and the Master, both in their TARDISes, traveling. They're making their TARDISes go into each other's TARDIS, and they're warping time. And you know what? I'm not going to explain it because I don't even understand it. It's just the coolest thing I've ever seen. That's the one I finished today. I can't imagine it getting any better than that. That was the best. All that leaves now is the final one, Planet of the Spiders. And that will be it. He'll be done. He transforms into Tom Baker, the actor Tom Baker, who played the fourth Doctor, at the end of this one. So I'll start watching this tomorrow. And we'll see what happens, because Tom Baker is the guy that played the Doctor for the longest period of time. He played him for 7 years. He was the one that was playing him in 1978 when it would come on TV, and I refused to watch it. He was the one in all the merchandise, and whenever anyone thought of Doctor Who prior to this new revival in the 2000s, they just thought of Tom Baker. They didn't even know there were other Doctors. If you didn't watch the show, and most people hadn't, but he's part of the culture, you know of Doctor Who. He was everywhere. You just thought it was just Tom Baker is Doctor Who. He's got the long scarf and the hat and the big bug eyes and curly hair, and everyone knew that. And then you talk to people that watch Doctor Who, and even when my brother explained it to me in 1995, I was shocked to learn that there were all of these different actors that played the Doctor, and the show had been on forever, and they just get in Tom Baker. But that's it. But I went ahead and I bought ahead. I bought the first year of Tom Baker's shows. So this is 1974, probably goes into 1975, however long it took that season to complete. And I was able to get the first three, and then the next three. Oh, it's because they've got like the Daleks and stuff, which is like his major bad guy, Daleks, Cybermen and stuff. So those ones are skyrocketing in price, so I had to get the Region 2. I already explained that. So there we go. I'll be able to see what I think of Tom Baker, which is, he's like everybody's favorite Doctor. Well, until the new revival. Now nobody even watches these old ones anymore. They don't even talk about them. They just talk about the newer Doctors, and I haven't seen any of those. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this. In fact, as I continue to go through the series, I just keep liking it more and more and more. Like I said, the one I watched today is my absolute favorite. Every time I get to a new Doctor, I go, oh, this isn't my new favorite. So I'm looking forward to watching Tom Baker and see what happens. Now, I do have one extra one here. This one just came out. There was one episode of Doctor Who that, I can't really remember. It was something about they couldn't finish filming it, and they've somehow been able to finish it, and it just came out. And so even though it's like further ahead and I can't watch it until I fill in the gap between. I just bought it anyways. Whatever. That's it. Oh, I got more stuff. Hang on. So I've got some books. For the 50th anniversary, they came out with this big Doctor Who The Vault book. I'm about 25% through it, but it's been a few years since I read that, so I'll probably just have to start over from the beginning. It's just a book about all kinds of everything. Doctor Who. And then I got Doctor Who Character Encyclopedia. I bought this because it's got like everybody, every character, everything that's appeared in the show, for the most part. And I got it because I want to draw them all, so I wanted reference material. Plus it'll help me remember who all these ones are. And then I think all these came out for the 50th anniversary because I got them all at the same time. Here's Whoology. It's like a... Boy, it's a lot of text. Oh, I got a bookmark there. So, well, I read 88 pages. I'll probably have to start over again. I don't remember any of it. And then, well, you know what? I met the actors that played the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th Doctors. The 4th Doctor, Tom Baker, he doesn't come over to America, so I haven't been able to meet him. And then the first 3 Doctors, they're all dead. And then all the new Doctors, the 9th through what's now the 13th, I haven't seen any of them or met any of them or watched any of their shows. So there's that group, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Doctor. I've met all of them, and I met the longest running companion. Each Doctor gets people that travel along with him for a while, and they're called companions. The longest running companion was Fraser Hines, the character he played. The actor's name was Fraser. And I met him, and I got his book. So I got a lot of photographs with these guys, and books, and signed stuff, and things. And then Terrence Dicks, he's like the writer through all of those early Doctors, and he was like the story editor, and on and on and on. Well, he wrote a book, The 8 Doctors, so it's all of the Doctors that I'm familiar with, and he has them in this book. They all come together for an adventure, and so I met him, and I got this book from him, and he signed it to me. Haven't read it yet, but I'm sure it'll be cool. And then I asked my brother who his favorite Doctor is, and he said the 8th Doctor. The 8th Doctor only has that TV movie from 1995. And I said, well, how can your favorite Doctor be the one with just one story? And he said, no. The actor, he came back. There's a company called Big Finish, and they make like radio plays, audio dramas and stuff of Doctor Who original stories and stuff. But they get all the original actors and whatnot to play the characters, and they make these big productions. And the one that's done, I think, the most and the best, according to like my brother and people in the know, is Paul McGann, the guy that played the 8th Doctor. And so he's got all his adventures. They're in audio format. Well, I met the guys that run Big Finish, and I bought a story from them. It is one of the 8th Doctor, and it's the one where the 8th Doctor pairs up with Carol Ann Ford, who played Susan. She is the girl that played the very first Doctor's granddaughter in the very first episodes. So this is her return to the series after decades and decades and decades, and she's pairing up with the 8th Doctor, my brother's favorite Doctor. So that's the one I wanted to get. It seemed pretty special to me. Haven't listened to it yet. Why? Because I go in order, so it's got to wait. I've had this for years, so it takes a long time. That's it. Let me put everything up on the table. So here we go. Lots of Doctor Who. Now, I'm all the way, I've made my way through here, all of here. I just got to watch this one tomorrow. And then I can watch The Fourth Doctor. And then I have to start buying again. And I can read these books too and listen to the audio adventure. So I got a lot. Now after I get through this stack, there's an additional 6 more years of this Doctor. Then we've got the 5th Doctor, the 6th Doctor, the 7th Doctor. Then we get to my introduction, the 8th Doctor, watch his TV movie, and then I'll be ready to catch up with the rest of the world and start watching what's called New Who, all this new Doctor Who, starting in 2005. And watch all the way up through. Now we're to the 13th Doctor. It's a lot to get through, but I'm enjoying it. It's just going to take a lifetime. But there we go.